Language comprises groupings of words, chunks linked by semantic relationships and fraternity. There are numerous forms of relationships that link words. For example, some words simply sound good together, have that natural ring to them when we use them together. Good language learners learn these chunks of language as wholes and formalize routines to help them perform beyond their competence. For example, they may learn idioms, proverbs, or other phrases knowing what the whole phrase means without necessarily understanding each individual part. Good language learners learn certain tricks that keep conversations going. In communication, you're advised to concentrate more on fluency than accuracy and use a variety of techniques to get your meaning across. When using the language, you must keep in mind that your first priority is to get the meaning across, not worrying about making mistakes or appearing foolish. When you notice mistakes, do not let them affect the conversation. Good language learners learn certain production techniques that also fill in the gaps in their own competence. Thinking constantly occupies the mind of good language learners. This usually revolves on how they are learning the language and tries to put it into viewpoint and evaluate what works and what does not work for them. For example, if they do not understand the purpose of a particular exercise, they would ask the teacher for further explanation and assistance. Good language learners learn different styles of speech or writing to learn to vary their language according to the formality of the situation. Good language learners figure out their own learning styles and capitalize on them. They are also willing to experiment and take risks just to ensure that their learning styles would be helpful in developing their skills. Let's now focus on learning a foreign language more effectively and successfully. This topic suggests a range of learning strategies that you can adopt, whether you are a newcomer to language learning or at a more advanced stage, an independent language learner. Let's explore some ideas for language learning activities. You can try out these activities, and if you find them effective, build them into your individual study or teaching activities. Language learning is often seen in terms of 4 basic language skills with 2 extra areas which are frequently added to the 4 skills. Let's study them. Listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, vocabulary. Click on each suggestion to know more. Both listening and speaking are considered performance skills. Students in foreign language classes often have difficulty hearing and speaking because they are anxious about making mistakes. Give yourself permission to be spontaneous and to take risks. You can focus on pronunciation and notice how preceding words may influence the pronunciation of the following ones. You can also practice listening to intonation patterns and identify variations in sentence or word stress. Speaking skills is considered a performance skill. Although most people feel embarrassed making strange sounds when speaking, don't mumble the words. Say it out loud. Mimic the sounds of the language. When you do this, the language will soon feel more familiar to you. When called on in class, say something, even if it's wrong. You'll learn from it. If you need a moment to think, repeat the question. If you don't know the answer, say, "I don't know," or "help." Reading and writing a foreign language are analytical skills. You may be good at these if you're a logical person who attends to detail. Train yourself through practice to notice and remember details such as accents and gender agreement. Good writing skills are essential for effective communication. It can also be the ticket to better college grades and greater academic achievement. Learning to write well takes time and practice. Practice writing as much as you can. Even informal writing activities such as keeping a diary in the target language or corresponding on email with a native speaker will help to improve your writing skills. Traditionally, a grammar is a set of productions which, taken together, specify precisely a set of acceptable input sequences in terms of an abstract set of terminal tokens. The set of acceptable input sequences is often called the language, defined by the grammar. When you learn a new grammatical rule, try to use it actively. By creating situations in speaking and writing where you can try out new grammar, you can start to assimilate it, and this will also help to reinforce it in your memory. Also, try to study grammar in context. A context can provide additional information about grammatical usage and may help you remember a point of grammar better than the isolated study of a particular rule. Vocabulary refers to the words a reader knows. Learn to identify the basic vocabulary building blocks in the language you are studying. Example, common endings, suffixes, for nouns, prefixes commonly used to make an adjective an opposite, etc. When you come across a new one, try to find several examples that follow this pattern. A good dictionary will also give you information about the grammar of a word, its pronunciation and stress pattern, and its usage, as well as its reading and spelling. You should learn to understand the abbreviations and terms used in dictionaries so you get the most out of using them. There are also other ways that we can employ to make the most of language learning resources. There is a range of materials and resources across the university which can be used for language learning. Let's take a look at a few suggestions below for making the best of these. Use the internet. Use foreign periodicals and newspapers. Use the self-access laboratory. Use computer-based language learning materials. Move the mouse over anyone to know more. In this topic, we have learned about how to make generalizations on good language learners' attributes. These attributes are taking charge of own learning, organize own learning, creative, create own opportunities, focused, use mnemonics and other memory strategies, learn from mistakes, use linguistic knowledge, use contextual clues, make intelligent guesses, learn chunks of language, learn to keep conversation going, learn certain production techniques, learn different styles of speech or writing.